What's up, guys? I'm Jack.
And I'm Taylor.
And this is the Vanture Podcast. We're super excited that you're joining us. This is episode 1 of our podcast. We're going to be talking about a lot today, mainly why we decided to do this podcast, and then our adventure across the U.S., which we're super, super excited about. So stay tuned, hang out with us, welcome, and thank you. So you might be wondering, why are they doing a podcast? And I think we're wondering the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk about that first. We'll get right into it. We decided to do a podcast because we're going to be traveling across the country in our van. Mm-hmm. And even before committing to that idea, we were thinking of ways that we could document our adventures to share with our family and friends and for us to look back on in the future. And we landed on a podcast. We listen to podcasts. We enjoy podcasts. They're quick and easy. I didn't think it was going to be that hard to make. Record the audio, record the video, put it together, and you have a podcast. So we bought the equipment, and we started practicing about 2 weeks ago. Yep. And Taylor was not on board with the idea. She would pretend like she was on board with the idea, but she was never really committed to it.
No.
I was a little bit more comfortable with the idea.
Mm-hmm.
We're both introverted. We're both homebodies. We don't love to be on the camera, but it was something that I was excited about, and it took you a little bit of time. Why don't you just tell us about that?
Yeah. I mean, you would bring it up to me all the time.
All the time, yeah.
Like every night before we fell asleep. So just wanted to bring this idea back around, and I'd be like, oh, I'm tired. Good night.
Yeah.
But that's just like who I am. And that's what makes us different, which is fine. He is someone that thinks of something, and if he's like dead set on it, he goes for it. I am someone that it takes a little bit of time for me to warm up to the idea, and it can't just be like a dream. Like I need to know like some structure around it.
You need a routine.
Yeah, I need a routine. It's just who I am.
Routine girly.
Yeah.
Big time.
I'm a big routine girly.
Yeah.
So, yes, it took me a little bit longer, but what are we doing right now?
Podcasting.
Yeah.
The first podcast of the Vanture Podcast, the first episode.
Adventure.
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. We came up with a name. We got a camera. We got some microphones. Yep. We're in our beautiful camper van that we haven't really taken a lot recently, so it's nice to kind of fall back in love with that too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, she wasn't really on board with the idea, but we got her there.
Yeah.
And I would say the same for the trip, kind of, too.
I was just going to say, it's not just the podcast. It was the idea of the entire trip.
The whole idea behind it.
Yeah. So, backstory. We are going on a 4-month-long van trip around the country, which is so exciting. Don't get me wrong. I am very excited. When it first came to me, not so much, because I can't even think about not being in my home or without my home, really, for that long. But we're doing it.
Yeah. And tell us where that kind of started, the whole idea, where we
came up with it?
Yeah, where we kind of, I guess, the engagement trip, really, where we decided, hey, this is something we'd like to do, but we didn't know going into it that was going to be something we enjoyed.
No. We rented a van for a week, and we went down the East Coast to, I think, Florida, tip of Florida.
What's the tip of Florida?
Well, the top tip of Florida, St. Augustine, not the bottom tip.
Then, yes, correct. And then we went back for Key West.
Well, that was later.
Yeah.
Wait,
anyway, sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt. Yes. Continue.
So we took the van for a week, went to the top tip of Florida to St. Augustine. But on that trip, we got engaged. So obviously it was magical. Very good trip. Good job.
Awesome. Yeah.
Good job. But with that, we really fell in love with the idea of van life. So from there, I think after that, we just were like, we need to do this. This is something that we...
Yeah, we need to get a van.
Yeah.
We need to get a van.
So fast forward, that was September 2021, December 2022, we have the van.
Yep.
We get the van, we take it on weekend trips, 5 to 10 days here and there, not often, but enough with our work schedules, and just fell in love.
Yeah, head over heels. And it was, whether it was 2 days or 9 days or whatever, we just loved every second of it. The simplicity of it, not really having a whole lot in the van, just kind of learning how to make a fire and how to cook in a small space, and what do you need to bring, and what does Joby need, and how are we going to sleep, and where are we going to go? Yeah, and all the things that came with it. We enjoyed that journey, and we just decided we wanted to do it a little bit longer term. I'll speak, from my perspective, like just going on these shorter trips, it was therapeutic. It was so enjoyable to just go up the street to the state park and hang out for 2 days and not really have anything to do. Your phone's off. You don't really have great reception. You build a fire, you hang out, you eat, you have good conversations. Yeah. You walk around, you go hiking, and, it was awesome.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
What better way to utilize this awesome van that we're sitting in than to take it across the country? I think this van deserves that adventure. I think Joby deserves it too. I mean, he loves every second of being in the van. He likes traveling around from what he shared with us. And he's going to have the best experience too, along with us.
Yeah.
So that's where the idea came from. A podcast is to document that, to keep everyone in the loop on what we're doing, where we're going, who we're seeing, and we're just going to live it up and have the best time of our lives. It was a little bit tricky working out the kinks to make this all a reality. Yeah. Taylor works remote. She can work from pretty much wherever, which is fantastic. I do not. I work on site. So that was a tough situation to navigate, but we've had the tough conversations. We've painted the picture for those around us, and my company, has offered nothing but support. There was a lot of anxiety behind the idea of telling them, and I don't want to step away from what I'm doing, and I want to continue to contribute and make a difference, with my team, but this is something that I have to do and we really want to do, and if we're going to have kids in the near future, this opportunity might not be available to us. So they were awesome with that, and this is going to be a great opportunity for me to just disconnect, reconnect, and make some great memories in the process. So with that being said, what would you say you're most excited about?
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of things. I would say probably just like the unknown. It's a two-part. It's what I'm most nervous about, what I'm most excited about is just like not being in a routine, because I am very regimented in a routine.
Yep.
I pop out of bed in the morning and I'm like, this is what we're doing because this is all we know.
Yep.
But I am excited to wake up, open the door, be in a new place, experience new things, and I don't even know what we're going to do and what we're going to see and who we're going to meet. Who we're going to meet as an introvert. That's a little scary, but I think
we'll be outside of our comfort zone in a lot of cases, which is great. But we'll be able to see people we haven't seen in a while that have moved across the country. We'll just be able to pull up, hang out, and, move on to the next place, which is awesome.
What about you, though? What are you most excited about?
I think what I said earlier, just disconnecting to reconnect kind of with myself. You finish college on a Friday, you start work on a Monday, and life just kind of passes you by and things are chaotic.
And now we're 30.
So,
well, just him, not me.
Yeah. So life's just hectic sometimes. We are busy and time's passing us by. So I'm excited to just spend time doing things that I enjoy and figuring out what I enjoy, really. Waking up and cooking breakfast and exercising and reading books, upgrade my reading level from 3rd grade to 4th grade, edit this podcast. I'm so excited to edit this podcast. Plan out where we're going to go next. Where are we going to stay? Where are we going to park? what restaurants are we going to go to?
Where are we going to dump the waste?
Where are we going to dump the waste and fill up the water?
Yeah.
Things like that. So putting the plan together and just kind of executing on that. And yeah, just doing things that I enjoy doing on a daily basis for an extended period of time.
And
I'm
you
very
deserve
excited about.
that.
Yeah. What would you say you're fearful of or nervous about, uneasy about as we get close to our departure?
I mean, it just ties in to what I already said, I feel like. But everything I've come to you with, you've always been like, there's a solution.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that scary.
Yeah, well, what about this? And what about that?
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Where we're sleeping, we've got apps.
Yeah.
Cracker Barrel, Planet Fitness. What if we can't shower for days on end?
Yeah.
I'm going to be stinky.
Yeah.
But, like, you've always come to me with a solution, which is, you're the best for that. But, I don't know, you just put my mind at ease about everything. So I would go anywhere with you.
No, I appreciate that. Well, I wouldn't go everywhere with you. No, I'm just kidding.
What about you, though? Are you nervous about anything? We'll come back to that.
Yeah, I mean, I really can't think of anything specifically. I'm just overjoyed, excited to do this, to make this memory. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could say finances. You know, I'm not going to be working, so I don't have that consistent income, which is tricky.
Yeah.
But we've planned for this. We've prepared. We're in a situation where we can do it, and no amount of money is going to equate to this experience for us. So I can't think of a thing, really. You know,
I love that.
We have everything we need. We've ordered tons of stuff from Amazon.
It's like Christmas.
Yeah, we have a fully stocked van, and we have all the equipment and things that we're going to need. So I feel great about that.
It's just packing.
Yeah, we're going to be up early, just getting after it, hiking, going to places we've never been, seeing things we've never seen before.
Yeah.
So all that stuff excites me. I love to travel. That's one of my favorite things to do. So this is a great opportunity to do that. And we had a boss actually back in the day, in the retail days, back in the Acura days, when we were hustling to get paid.
Back in the Acura days.
Yeah, and awesome manager.
Yeah.
And he said to me, "Hey, as you start traveling, I think we were going to Seattle or somewhere like that for a short weekend trip." And he said, "Hey, when you're in your 20s, travel the U.S., get to see what we have here, and then in your 30s, you can travel the world."
And we've always
we always think about that as we plan. We've gone to Canada and Mexico and stuff like that, but our goal with this trip is to hit all the states we haven't seen before, so we can say, "Hey, we've been to all 50 states. Now we can start to travel internationally. Maybe next year or something like that." But that really stuck with us and has been a goal of ours, and we kind of waited to the finish line here to do it. But, it's something we've lived by, and has definitely played a part in this decision to do this trip. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'm excited about. I don't have a ton of stuff that I'm nervous about.
That's good.
But yeah, so we're leaving in a short 12 days from now.
Yep.
But we're trying to enjoy the moment. And all the days leading up to it, all the things we have to button up before we leave, all the packing, all the planning.
Yep.
That's part of the journey and the part we're going to look back on and really, really appreciate. So I don't want to wish time away, but I'm ready to get on the road. We're going to head up to New Jersey first, where we're going to get our window replaced because our boy Joby here, who is chilling,
he's dead,
is going to need to stick his head out the window. So our window right now doesn't allow for that, and he looks pretty traumatized when we go on long road trips.
Yes.
He hangs in there, but he's not comfortable, and he's comfortable when he has his head out the window in our other vehicle.
He loves a car ride.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for us to install a new window and allow him to stick his head out. We have a new bed for him on the way, a little seatbelt action, make sure he's good.
Spoiled.
Yeah, so we'll get that installed. They'll check over the van, make sure everything looks good. Did I even mention that's where the van was made?
No.
Yeah, so that's where the van was made, but we're going to go back up there, check it out.
Good old Trenton.
Good old Trenton, New Jersey. And then we're going to start our adventures up through the Northeast, which will include, hopefully, Long Island, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, Maine, maybe go up to Montreal as well, and then swing back through New York for a wedding in September. And then it's really just rip it to the West Coast. That's where we want to get out to. And we'll kind of take the north side of the country out that way, and then we'll head back through the south towards the end of the year. And the plan is to come back before Christmas. So we'll have a full 4 months on the road, and we'll post a podcast every week so you can kind of see what we're doing and we can see what we're doing because things move fast and we don't get a chance to really appreciate some things. But yeah, so we'll record that every week, post it on our YouTube channel. We're just going to do a standard video podcast so people can watch us and see our faces.
Sorry.
But yeah, that's the plan. I mean, we're going to do as much as we can within reason.
Yeah.
Each state will find different things to do that we haven't done before. We're big food people. We're going to have some segments on here as well, which is exciting.
Yeah.
One is called Find the Joy. So we'll have a segment for Find the Joy, which is where did you find joy this week? What brought you joy? What was the moment in your week where you went, this is the moment?
Yeah.
You know, when you get back to work, back to the routine, and you're like, that one moment when I was at that beach hanging out, that was the best time of my trip, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
We want to find the joy each week and share that with each other.
Yeah.
Because we don't really talk about that. And then share that, of course, with you guys as we record the podcast. And then we're going to have another segment called Tapas Time, which includes ideally a tapas restaurant review, but not every nook and cranny of the U.S. is going to have a tapas restaurant, so we might be reviewing just the basic, but we'll talk about food a little bit. What do we have that was good in X location? And then maybe we'll develop some new segments as time goes on. We've got this cool soundboard here that has our segment intros. We won't play that yet, but we will play that for the next podcast. We even got... come on. The real deal. So we'll play that. We'll do those segments next time around. But just wanted to introduce you to the van, introduce you to our plans. Follow along. Share this with people. If you think you know someone that might enjoy it, share it with them. We love it. It's just for our friends and family, but we'd love to share this with other people that maybe are thinking about doing something like this or find joy in watching other people do things like this.
Just like we did.
Exactly. I mean, hours at a time we would sit there and watch videos. Oh my gosh, that's such an amazing life.
All the time.
Vlogging and all of that kind of stuff. So we'll be taking lots of pictures, lots of videos, and then dropping this once a week as things start to progress. So thank you for watching this episode. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to the Vanture series.
Happy to have you here.